Can you imagine giving away everything that you own? Yes, everything that you own. And would you ever do that? And if you did, what would the reason be? Well, when we read the gospel stories, we meet people who did just that. We met the apostles and the disciples who were willing to just give up everything and for a cause to follow Jesus, the one who showed him how to love the world. Yes, Peter was called. He was a fisherman, happily out in his boat going for fish every night. When one day he was coming in after a hard night with no fish, and he meets a man on the shore who calls him by name. And Peter has no idea how this man knows who he is. How does he know my name? Peter maybe never even heard of Jesus or his mission. But when he encountered Jesus, Jesus looked Peter in the eye, knew who Peter was with all his faults and all his failings, his impetuousness, his ability to give into anger. We know what he knew what Peter was like. And yet he called Peter and he said, "Come, follow me." And what does Peter do? Peter, unlike what he would think he would ever do in his life, was jumped out of the boat, gave up his nets, gave up his boat, and went and followed this man, Jesus. Yes, he gave up everything that he had to follow Jesus. And we know all the other disciples did pretty much the same thing. And it all ended up in the same place. Eventually, except for John, they were all martyred because of their faith and belief and trust and love of Jesus and his message from his Father. And we're all at some time going to have an encounter when we will meet Jesus. And he will look straight in the eye and he will see you for who you are. And he will call you and he will say to you, "Come, follow me." Will you? Will you be able to put everything aside and put him as number one? That's a pretty big thing to think about. But maybe he's not asking us to sell everything right now. Maybe he's only asking us to give a little of our time, a little of our effort to help others, because he knows that most of us don't have that kind of commitment to anything, to give up what we think is ours, because we love possessions. We love to have things around us. We build our security around the things that we have, but they're so unimportant in terms of the overall scheme of things, because we can't take any of this with us. We can only bring who we are and what we've done with our life and how we sacrifice to make ourselves better and how much we look like Jesus when we die. And Jesus was honest, truthful, transparent, all caring, all loving, and he gave us everything. And he asks us to try to be like him. Oh, we'll fail. We won't always be what we're supposed to be. And we may have good intentions, but hell is paved with good intentions, as they say. It's not having good intentions, it's acting on our good intentions. And when we act on our good intentions, our life will become different. Our life will become better. Because then when we are acting on our intentions, we're thinking of someone else. And that's the key to success. And when Jesus calls us, that's what he's calling us to do, to get out of ourselves, to get into him. And when we get into him, we can reach out to the world around us and we can make this place a better place. So when you are encountering your Lord and he says to you, "Come follow me," what are you going to say?